In this video, we are going to try to determine what the best auto detailing degreaser is between Mcguire's Super Degreaser, Purple Power, and of course, Super Clean. Now let's get straight into it. What's going on? So glad you are here and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a professional auto detailer who wants to become more successful and profitable in your business, or just a car enthusiast who wants to improve your detailing ability, then definitely consider hitting that big red subscribe button right below this video. So in the professional auto detailing industry, everyone goes back and forth about what the best degreaser is for different situations. Whether you're dealing with really dirty carpets or really dirty paint or really dirty wheels, everyone has a different opinion as to what the best auto detailing degreaser is. So I'm gonna compare 3 of them today on this car paint that I'm working on right now. In this bottle, I have Purple Power degreaser diluted 10:1. In this bottle, I have Super Clean degreaser diluted 10:1. And in this bottle, I have Mcguire's Super Degreaser diluted 10:1. Why it's not more pink or red, I'm not really sure. Now, the car that I'm working on today is actually what I call an experiment car. So I am not actually detailing this car as I would for one of my clients, but this is a friend of mine's car, and she does not maintain the paint. It has never been maintained, and so this is a car that I actually have permission to experiment on. So I'm not worried about scratching, I'm not worried about hurting things or damaging things, because if that happens, I have permission. And as a professional auto detailer, I like to have experiment cars in my life so that I can experiment with different products, tools, and see what works and see what doesn't. So I'm gonna be using this 10:1 degreaser experiment on 2 different parts of the car. The first part is gonna be here on this door panel. It's got a little bit lighter dirt, a little bit lighter dust, grease, grime piled up on it, but I wanna show you guys kind of what I'm talking about. If you can see it in the camera, where this car sits outside, it's not maintained, it's not really ever washed, and so it collects this really kind of adhered, stuck on black stuff. This comes from like trees, from just sitting outside. And so what I'm gonna do is treat each one of these sections at a time. We're gonna test how well they actually remove things with no agitation, with light agitation, and then with heavy agitation. And then we're gonna move to a different part of the car that's way more dirty, got way more grease and grime piled up onto it, and we're gonna see how it works on heavier dirt as well. So for this first panel right here, I'm gonna go ahead and use the 10:1 Mcguire's Super Degreaser. Now all I'm gonna do is try to keep it within the borders here and just spray a little bit on this entire section and make sure I kind of soak it pretty well. Now while that's sitting and dwelling, I'm gonna go ahead and reach for the Super Clean diluted 10:1 and go ahead and treat this next section just like that. And then I'm gonna finish with the Purple Power diluted 10:1 with this third section. So what I wanna do right now is let it dwell for just a second and see if we can actually catch any sort of breakdown of the dirt, grease, and grime without any agitation whatsoever. So with this first section here with the Mcguire Super Degreaser, I don't see any sort of kind of runoff of the dirt. Now that can be due to the fact that this dirt is very stuck on there. So it's not just surface dirt that's already loose that's gonna come off. So I don't see anything kind of just inherently like coming off just from the spraying with no agitation. I don't actually see that with any of the panels here. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna take a makeup brush and I'm gonna use that for just a light agitation and see what happens when I just very lightly agitate it with a makeup brush. So now I'm agitating the Mcguire Super Degreaser section, and you can actually see as I'm agitating this, the dirt is in fact being pulled up, and I'm just barely using this makeup brush. And even if I was pushing really hard, a makeup brush just isn't, it doesn't have a lot of scrubbing power in the first place. So it actually is pulling it up completely. In fact, if I were to kind of wipe with my hand, you can see that there's no dirt left there, no surface dirt. So that is working very nicely with the Mcguire Super Degreaser. Now I went ahead and washed off my makeup brush so there's no Super Degreaser on it. So now this is the Super Clean section. So I'm doing the same exact thing, and I can see that I'm getting very similar results as I'm doing this, even on the top panel here where there's more dirt. It's not a lot of scrubbing power and barely any agitation, so it is coming up. That dirt really is being pulled up nicely. So that tells me that both of these degreasers, at least in this situation, diluted 10:1, are working really incredibly at pulling up that dirt. And as I'm agitating the Purple Power side, I think that I'm getting similar results once again. I actually want to show you guys this top panel. panel here. So you guys can see on this top panel that dirt and that black kind of almost just like grainy looking appearance, is that stuff really gets stuck on. But as that Purple Power has been allowed to sit, and as I agitate it with my makeup brush, you can see that it really is pulled up and loosened very, very nicely. I don't have to use barely any effort, and that comes off just perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my microfiber, and I'm just gonna wipe each section off just like this, very, very simply. And you guys can see, even as I'm wiping it off, that degreaser, with that dwell time, I think that helped a lot. But you guys can see, the dirt is completely removed, even on this top panel where that stuff really gets stuck on. Would I have to take a clay bar to some of this? Yeah, absolutely. But you guys can see that black, grainy appearance, all that dirt that really gets adhered to the paint is totally removed, and you're left with just that shiny, glossy finish, ready to be clayed, ready to be washed, ready to be waxed. So in this situation, these degreasers, I would say, all worked very similarly. I don't know that I would put one above the other. So now I want to test out this theory about what might be the best auto degreaser on this top part of the trunk, because you guys can see that this part is much more hammered than the last. So this like black kind of grainy appearance that I was talking about is really obvious here, and just listen to the sound as I rub with my rubber glove across the surface. So it sounds like sandpaper, and you guys can see, check that out. So that is seriously rough. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. I'm gonna start with Super Degreaser, Super Clean, and Purple Power. So once again, Super Degreaser, Super Clean, and Purple Power, and we're gonna check the results. So we're starting with the Super Degreaser right here. Just gonna spray it very liberally, let it dwell. Then I'm gonna go to the Super Clean on this second panel right there. And then I'm gonna go lastly with the Purple Power on this panel. Now what's really interesting is, as I was spraying it onto each panel, nothing really happened with the Mcguire Super Degreaser. Kind of just looked the same as I sprayed it after it was done. With the Super Clean, there's a little splotches where the pressure of where I sprayed it actually already loosened and pulled up the dirt in that specific panel, and that happened even more so with the Purple Power. So as I sprayed the Purple Power right here, the dirt kind of spread out because the Purple Power instantaneously, as soon as it touched it, started to actually break that down and spread it out. So Purple Power, definitely a very powerful degreaser in this scenario. Didn't have to touch anything, and it already loosened that dirt up. Now of course I'm gonna go ahead and agitate it with my makeup brush, and I can see as I'm agitating it, I'm getting very, very similar results as I did last time. That degreaser has been allowed to dwell, it's been allowed to sit, and now it's pulling up that dirt very nicely. So I'll go ahead and take my microfiber towel to this section, and you guys can see, really looks awesome where the Mcguire Super Degreaser was dwelling. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the Super Clean section, and as I'm doing this, actually, I would like to say that as I'm comparing the Super Clean and the Super Degreaser section, this Super Clean section, in my opinion, and of course this is difficult to gauge because the pressure I'm putting down probably varies a little bit and things like that, but this Super Clean section seemed to clean a little bit easier, meaning I barely had to touch the makeup brush to the paint whatsoever, and it came completely clean, whereas the Super Degreaser I had to scrub and go a little bit quicker. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Purple Power section, and I got to be honest, as I'm scrubbing it right this second, I gotta say that the Purple Power section is probably the easiest, maybe even going head to head with the Super Clean section in this scenario. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it up, barely had to do anything, and really awesome results. Barely had to scrub, barely had to touch the fibers of this makeup brush to the paint, and came completely clean. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a close-up. Here's the Mcguire Super Degreaser section. Definitely can't see anything, maybe a little bit of grains, a little bit of those black grainy marks that I would have to take off with a clay bar. Here's the Super Clean section, looks amazing. That surface dirt totally gone. Here's the Purple Power section. So as all these three are sitting together, can I tell a difference in person or in the camera? I cannot. I'll go ahead and remove the paint so you guys can actually see, I'll remove the tape so you guys can see the contrast of maybe where it was before between all of these degreasers. So this car really was hammered, but when you're getting results like these with all of these degreasers, can I put one above the other? Well, I don't know, maybe not. A lot of times as you experiment with different degreasers like Purple Power or Super Clean or Mcguire's Super Degreaser, you'll find that they all actually produce very similar results in a lot of scenarios. There are some scenarios, maybe with stain removal, maybe with floorboard cleaning, things like that, where you might get some different results. One might come out on top, but as you experiment with different ratios, different dilutions, different stuff like that, you'll find that a lot of them really do produce the same results, and arguing about which one is better is kind of like just running in circles because it so depends on the situation you're in. So in this situation, can I say one is better than the other? No, definitely not. Can you say, as you continue to experiment, that one might be safer than the other on something like paint or on something like carpets? Yes. So for example, I found that Mcguire Super Degreaser, a lot of times I trust with paint more than I would something like Purple Power. But in this scenario, all of them really did an incredible job. So in my professional auto detailing world, I do actually have all three of these degreasers in my arsenal. I have different uses for all of them, but I would encourage you guys in the pro detailing world, and just if you're a car enthusiast, to get these and experiment with them in different parts of the car. So if you guys would like to purchase any of these products, I'm gonna hook up Amazon links in the description box below to Purple Power, Mcguire Super Degreaser, and Super Clean, all in the description box. So if you'd like to get your hands on it, definitely use my Amazon links. It does give this channel a very small commission, but it allows this channel to stay alive so I can continue to give out awesome content just like this on a daily basis. But Mcguire Super Degreaser is really the only one that's kind of not readily available. Purple Power and Super Clean can both be bought at like Walmart or something like that if you'd rather. So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you want to tell me how you remove things like this on car paint, or what kind of degreasers you prefer in your auto detailing world, definitely hook up all that stuff in the comment section below, because I learn just as much from you as you guys do me. And of course, if you're new to the Wilson Auto Detailing community, definitely consider subscribing, because I come out with daily videos just like this on products, tools, strategies, communication skills, business skills, and so much more, all in an effort to help the pro detailers become more successful. And on this channel, I share the exact strategies that allowed me to turn my auto detailing business into a full-time income with only part-time hours. So if you're interested in that, definitely consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much again for being so involved, and as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.